Can anybody slow down the Southern Miss Golden Eagles? It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Today's episode brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. All right, we finally actually got some good games on Thursday, and then Southern Miss with another blowout. We'll get to that here momentarily. It's almost 8:30 Eastern time. Marshall and Coastal Carolina are moments away from the first pitch. It's going to be past my bedtime. Although I'm off, I still can't stay up that late. We may get half the ball game. But we want to get the episode in, and maybe we wake up and do a quick recap. But I think we are seeing so far that there is a huge difference, and we sort of saw it even heading into the Troy Southern Miss series, that there was a difference. And I know I picked, you guys can get on me, I picked Troy. They hadn't lost a series. They were playing at home. But I did say going into the series that Southern Miss was better. There's Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss, and then there's everybody else. Troy seems to be its own entity. We'll see. Marshall's playing as well as anybody outside of Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss. But we'll see what happens in tonight's ball game. But I just think Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss are playing at a different level right now. Southern Miss has won 17 straight. Coastal Carolina is up to 15 straight. And these are not close ball games. They are not winning fluky ball games. Southern Miss has played in one close ball game. That was last Thursday. And that's it over the last week. So they take down Southern Miss. You know, they started out with an easy victory over Texas State, 9-1. All right, couldn't quite get the run rule. Although I think, let me see if I still have the box score up here. Hopefully I left it. I did. 16 men left on base. They got 14 base hits. 16 men left on base. Texas State walked 7. So they certainly had their opportunities to blow that game open. If we're looking for any kind of criticism, that would be the one thing. On Thursday, not so much. They won that ball game going away 10-0. Although they did leave 9 men on base, still had 14 base hits. They scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 more in the 5th, and 3 more in the 7th to run rule ODU. Matt Adams, no runs on 4 base hits, did walk 4, but didn't give up any runs, so got his work in. 98 pitches, 100 pitches in 7 innings is pretty good these days. That's kind of what it is. And so he did a good job. Southern Miss hits 3 home runs in the ball game. Cook had 1. Joey Urban hit another one, and Ozzie Pratt hit 1. Pratt's having quite the tournament so far. Bottom of the lineup, 3 more base hits, 3 more runs, 2 more runs batted in. Cook at the top of the lineup, he was 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored and 3 runs batted in, walked twice. So he was on base 5 times on the day. And, certainly seems to be easy saying collision course, Southern Miss and Coastal Carolina. Now we kind of know why that the end of the College World Series is best 2 out of 3. This is going to kind of stink that it's coming down to 1 ball game, right? I would want to see this best 2 out of 3 because we deserve to see best 2 out of 3. I'm going to have to, I'm going to miss it live because I'm working. Let's see what time it is. Isn't it 1 p.m. Central Time? So I might be able to catch the end of it if it's if it goes long. But for the most part, I'm not going to be able to see it live. That is for sure. That's not going to happen because I'm working. But it's going to be fun if it ends up that way. Again, we're still waiting for Marshall and Coastal Carolina. I'm not sure we thought ODU was going to take down Southern Miss. We thought maybe ODU would give them a little bit of a battle, and we're thinking Marshall might give Coastal a little bit of a battle. Do we know who? Well, this is going to be interesting. You do have Cameron Flukie. Here you go. You do have Cameron Flukie pitching for Coastal Carolina. They're not screwing around with Jacob Morrison. He didn't go on short rest last week, and he's not going on short rest this week. He's pitching on Friday. They're waiting for, or in this case, Saturday. He's going to get extra rest. And we'll see who they get. Do they hold Jacob Morrison out to pitch on Sunday? Is that a real possibility? I don't know if you can roll those dice. That's a real roll of the dice to do that. You don't want to do that because, I mean, you do get a second shot. If you lose Saturday, then you can play again. I don't know if you want to do that. That sounds that's even a little bit too ridiculous for me. Although if you win that Saturday ball game, you go to the championship game, you got Jacob Morrison sitting there. All right. I can't imagine they're doing that. But again, if they win today, they have their whole bullpen, Raritan and Weston. They've played 2 ball games, right? Southern Miss has had 3 pitchers go in 2 games. So I don't know if anybody can slow down the Golden Eagles. We'll see if we can say the same thing for Coastal Carolina. It is collision course. These 2 teams are by far the best. As of right now, we'll see if Southern Miss was still 21 when the game started. We'll see. They are still, let me refresh it. If they moved up any, they have not moved up any. They're still 21 in Warren Nolan. Coastal Carolina fell 1 spot. They fell to 12. They haven't played yet, right? And some of these other teams may have played. Clemson is still 10. So they haven't moved. Coastal Carolina fell 1 spot. So they are sitting at 12. All right. Troy, meanwhile, we'll get to them, I guess. They have moved up to 44. So I think they were up at 43. They fell down to 44 with other results. But, I mean, Southern Miss they looked really good. We'll see if they can host. And, we'll see where it goes from there. Because, again, I thoroughly believe Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss, they host. You got to go to the Super Regionals. And if Coastal Carolina is your national seed, you got to end up in Omaha. We'll see how it goes. All right. We finally have some good games because there haven't been too many good games thus far in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. It started out, it didn't start out. We had the best game was the Cajuns and Georgia Southern. We'll talk about that when we come back. I tell you about Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where'd all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. All right. I mean, let's go through some of these ball games because I don't think they've been that good. All right. I mean, Texas State and App State were close, but Texas State beats App State 3-0. All right. Georgia Southern was blowing out Arkansas State. They did get the tying run on base or at the plate, but it was still 13-8. That was a 10-3 ball game. That wasn't very close. Old Dominion did beat Troy. All right. My mistake. It was a 4-2. Well, that was Wednesday. Is that where? No. Okay. So that was Wednesday. All right. So that's one ball game. That's my bad. 4-2. Old Dominion upsets Troy. All right. There you go. Southern Miss over Texas State 9-1. Coastal Carolina over Georgia Southern 8-1. And Marshall and the Cajuns 9-5 Marshall. All right. And the 9-5 is not nearly as close as that would indicate. Marshall had 5 errors in the ball game, 3 in the 8th. Goodness. So you've had in the first 2 days, 1 good ball game, 2 close ones. All right. You go to Thursday, and we'll get to Troy here at the end. But the Cajuns and Georgia Southern was a back and forth ball game. I'm not going to say come from ahead because that's not fair. It was really more back and forth. It's not like the Cajuns had this big lead and let it slip away and came back at the end. It was back and forth. All right. Cajuns led 1-0. Georgia Southern scored 3 in the 5th. They led it 3-1. Cajuns scored 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th to take a 4-3 lead. Georgia Southern scored 1 in the 8th. Cajuns tied it up in the 8th. Or I'm sorry. Try that again. Georgia Southern scored 3 in the 5th to take a 3-1 lead. Cajuns 1 in the 6th to make it 3-2. Cajuns scored 2 in the 7th to make it 4-3. Georgia Southern a home run in the 8th to tie it up. Cajuns with a run in the bottom half of the 8th to make it 5-4. Having an outstanding, I guess they played 3 ball games, right? Georgia Southern. Can we figure out? Is Juju Stevens. He had a ridiculous 3 games, right? In the Sun Belt. Let's see how quickly his stats are updated on Georgia Southern's website. And they are. I guess he did actually go 0 for 4 against Coastal Carolina. But he had 4 RBIs against he had 4 RBIs against Arkansas State. He actually went 6 for 6 against Arkansas State. 2 doubles and a home run. He had a double and a home run against the Cajuns. Drove in 4. 2 for 4. He is 8 for 14. This is unreal. He went 8 for 14 in the series. All right. He drove in 8 runs, scored 5. Just to keep you an idea of what he did all year long, he scored 10 runs this year. He drove in 8 runs in the series. In the tournament, he drove in 12 this year. All 12 in the last 2 weeks. He had 4 against Marshall in what appears to be the last game of the regular season, 4 against Arkansas State, and then 4 against the Cajuns. I mean, talk about finishing hot. His average, I mean, he came in, these numbers are right. He came in to that Marshall series, to that last game against Marshall, hitting 111. He's now hitting 333 for the season. He went to 182, 357. He went over 4, so he went down to 313. He went 2 for 4. He's hitting 333. He's going to make the all-tournament team. I don't know how you can have 8 RBIs in 2 ball games and not make the all-tournament team. So good job by Juju Stevens. Some interference, actually some good defense. I mean, last night, the Cajuns, we've all seen like a Bermuda Triangle where the infielders on a pop-up can't make a play, it falls in between them. There's a highlight with the infielders on the left side of the infield. Can't make a play. Basically, the third baseman overran the shortstop, and they couldn't make a play. The second baseman was on the left side, too. They looked like the Three Stooges. It did not look pretty. I don't know if I've ever seen that play. We've all seen that happens in the big leagues. So that's not reserved for college or high school or lower levels. We've all seen, the shortstop, the second baseman, the center fielder, whomever it is, pop up, falls in. All right. That happens way more often than we'd like to think. I've never seen it on the ground balls. Can't do the shift anymore in the big leagues. But I've never seen a ground ball with 3 guys on one side and it not be fielded and thrown out on what appeared to be a routine ground ball. Been that kind of season for the Cajuns. But a good job by them to, get a win. Still got a chance to finish on a relatively high note. If somehow you can, beat Marshall, I guess you could also face Coastal. That's going to make it much more difficult. But we'll see. All right. If you get Marshall, then all of a sudden, you finish up the Sun Belt Conference tournament 2-2. All right. And I guess there's no rule that you have to lose to Marshall or Coastal Carolina. Maybe you win and you knock the team you play out. And then you get to play the team that didn't lose. So you have to play Marshall or the team that didn't lose. They would play Marshall or Coastal. Who knows, right? Again, not likely to beat Coastal is the way I would see it. Again, I see Coastal and Southern as 2 different teams on a different level compared to the rest of the Sun Belt. And I think we've seen that so far in this Sun Belt Conference tournament. Anyways, it was a good baseball game. Cajuns win it with a run in the bottom half of the 8th inning after Juju had tied it up with a home run in the top half of the 8th inning. All right. Meanwhile, Troy survives Texas State. They keep their NCAA tournament berth hopes alive, is what you would say. All right. We will talk about that when we come back. I think we've had like 20 subscribers in the past 10 days or so. The views with the videos that we've been posting on the X or on the Twitter through the roof. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully looking forward to doing crossover videos with SEC or ACC or, you never know if my guy, Glavin gets into the into a regional with one of the Sun Belt teams. We may be able to convince him to come on Locked On Sun Belt. So we shall see. So hopefully it'll be a big week next week. I am working on Memorial Day, so we'll get to the brackets when we get to the brackets. I may actually have lunch at the time that the brackets come out. So it may just work out that I can tweet it out when they come out. I'm sure you guys are going to know it as soon as it comes out. Probably before I do. But I do appreciate it. But next week will prove to be a lot of fun, as it always is. And, we'll have, if we can't get the lockdown guys, we'll get some media guys on. That's for sure, one way or another. All right. It plans on being a big week. Appreciate all the support. Please like and hit that subscribe button. All right. Let's talk Troy Trojans. All right. Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. Troy Trojans desperately needed a win. They were heading towards out of the top 50 with a loss and probably off. I think they were off the bubble. Thought I saw Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball.com say they were the last team in with their win over Texas State. So they got a 4-2 win. Let me give credit to where credit is due. It was, let's see here. Lineups. Sean Darnell with a 2-run home run in the 7th inning, the difference in the ballgame. So he had a 2-run home run. Troy wins it. They move up from 47. I think they got to 43. They've dropped to 44 since, but they needed the win. Again, they ended a 5-game losing streak. Again, it's oddly enough that it's not the pitching that has been the issue. It has been, to me, it's been the bats. The bats have just gone super duper quiet for the most part. The bats came alive when they needed to against Arkansas State, winning 9-8 and 8-7. They did lose 7-6. Bats came alive a little bit too late, but lost 4-3 to Southern Miss. They lost 12-1. That was, I think an 8-run late inning, big inning for Southern Miss in the 8th, as it turns out. And then they lost 8-5. They had chances in both those games to get runs home and to make them a game, and they did not. Then they lose to Old Dominion 4-2. Then they even beat Texas State 4-2. The bats have just gone super quiet. If we go back to some of their other wins, maybe not. So maybe we should have saw this coming, right there. We can go back to James Madison. They lost to James Madison 7-3, beat them 6-3, 1-4-0. They beat ULM. 9-3, 11-1, lost 7-3. Alabama State 12-10, but then Texas State, it took until the 11th inning, 3-2, beat them 9-4, but then lost 14-3 in 7 innings. All right. They did beat Jacksonville State 12-2, but lost the first game to South Alabama 5-2. Beat South Alabama 5-2. Lost the next game 11-7, and then won the second game 6-5. There's not a whole lot of offensive output the way I think it had been going on earlier in the year. All right. And so maybe we look back and could have seen that one coming, looking at a little closer, which I honestly did not. Just always thought they were scoring like 7-8 runs a ballgame. And it appears they have not been, and certainly not as of late, even in their wins. So we'll see what happens. They get ODU again. All right. They need to beat ODU so they get a chance to play Southern Miss, because their RPI isn't going to go down too much. If they lose to Southern Miss, it may actually go up. You beat ODU, all of a sudden you're at 40 or so. You even lose to Southern Miss, you may go up to 39. And then just those 2 wins get you from, that's how different this is. They lose to Texas State, they're 50 or 51. They're not on the bubble. They're probably out of the tournament. They beat Texas State. They beat ODU. They lose to Southern Miss. And again, there's no rule that they have to lose to Southern Miss, but we'll just say they are for that sake of the argument, because if they beat Southern Miss, then they'll be way in the top 40 and they'll get it. But if they lose to Southern Miss, they'll still be in the top 40 and they'll be in good shape for the NCAA tournament. All right. Which is what we're hoping for. So that's what they need. Let's see if this Coastal ball game just getting underway. Nothing going on for Marshall. The 1 seed, Coastal Carolina, taking on the number 4 seed, Marshall Thundering Herd. It is the first inning. There is no score. All right. But Southern Miss has already advanced to Saturday. Coastal Carolina looking to do that as well. And then, if they both win on Saturday, then they both advance to Sunday's championship game. If one of them lose on Saturday, then there's that if necessary ball game. Then I get to watch that because those games will happen later in the afternoon. Again, I'm enjoying a day off Friday, working for basically a full week again, maybe longer again. I think I'm working from Friday through Saturday. The schedule had changed a little bit. Don't really care, do get double time for Memorial Day. So that's, cha-ching. And then we are taking a vacation, 2 vacations coming up. Last weekend in June, last weekend of May, beginning of June, and then the end of June, beginning of July. So one's a long weekend and one is a week. And then that's about it outside of trying to get down to New Orleans for the Sun Belt Media Days. Again, some logistical things and working on some professional things. That may have to wait for the last moment. I'm not going to wait too long, although you could buy a plane ticket and then, put the reverse jinx into effect, that kind of deal. So, although somebody did offer me a place to stay, so I just need a plane ticket, and I don't even know if I need a car, just an Uber. Why do I need a car and pay for parking? That's I don't know. I think it's a Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday to the airport. I don't even need a car. Just Uber it from the airport. That'd be about it. So, all right. So Friday, again, off. I think I'm going to Indianapolis, though. Seeing my nephew. He's got something to finish up in school. And then we'll be back. What are the game times on Friday? Now that we're looking at it here. Friday game times at 3 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to be close to be back for that. Depends if I do any bourbon hunting. And then the next game is at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So that's 7:30. I probably won't be staying up for that, for the whole thing for that one. But a little bit of that. We'll definitely get a recap of the first game in. So do appreciate everybody. All the support the channel's got. I know that gotten a bunch of followers on X. That is for sure. I can quickly, it's close to, feels like 100 new followers. Yeah, over about the last week or so. That's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty neat. Most of them Southern Miss fans, ready to jump on me if I say something bad about Southern Miss. But so far, there's been nothing to say bad about them. They haven't lost in almost a month, or at least 3 weeks. And they are playing incredibly well. All right, we'll see if Coastal Carolina can match it as they are taking on Marshall. We'll have a little bit of a quick video recap in the morning. All right, until then, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the Marshall Coastal Carolina ball game. Again, we'll have a recap in the morning. You have been watching Locked On Sunbelt, your teams every day. Have a great Friday, everybody, and we'll recap the Sunbelt tournament throughout the weekend.